205 kidnappers, traffickers, and offenders were arrested in an FBI-led nationwide crackdown, including 8 in the Northern District of New York. All of the victims underage, with one of the youngest being 4 years old. 4 years old, guys. A baby. A criminal complaint says the child's grandparent reported the incident to police back in March. A 49-year-old was later arrested by Waterville Police. This is one of the many parts I love about being a true crime content creator: accountability, and being able to report that some of these monsters committing heinous crimes are finally behind bars. The Department of Justice announced the results of Operation Restore Justice. This is a coordinated enforcement effort to identify, track, and arrest child sex predators. The operation resulted in the rescue of 115 children and the arrest of 205 offenders in the nationwide crackdown. The coordinated effort was executed over the course of 5 days, all by 55 FBI field offices, the Child Exploitation and Obscenity Section in the department's Criminal Division. The Department of Justice will never stop fighting to protect victims, especially child victims, and we will not rest until we hunt down, arrest, and prosecute every child predator who preys on the most vulnerable among us, said Attorney General Pamela Bondi. I am grateful for the FBI and their state and local partners for their incredible work in Operation Restore Justice, and have directed my prosecutors not to negotiate. She said every child deserves to grow up free from fear and exploitation, and the FBI will continue to be relentless in our pursuit of those who exploit the most vulnerable among us. Operation Restore Justice proves that no predator is out of reach and no child will be forgotten. By leveraging the strength of all our field offices and our federal, state, and local partners, we're sending a clear message. This is no place to hide for those who prey on children. Now, as of upstate New York and the New York area, 8 dangerous predators were taken off the street in just 5 days. The FBI will continue to use every resource available to find and arrest the rest of the predators and can ensure that they can never hurt another child again. This is my favorite part of this. Those arrested, let's call them out. Those arrested around the country are alleged to have committed various crimes, including the production, distribution, and possession of child abuse material, online enticement, and transportation of minors, and child sex trafficking. In Minneapolis, for example, a state trooper and Army reservist was arrested for allegedly producing the SAM assault while wearing his uniforms. In Norfolk, Virginia, an illegal alien from Mexico is accused of transporting a minor across state lines for sex. In Washington, D.C., a former Metropolitan Police Department police officer was arrested for allegedly trafficking minor victims. Now, in many cases, parental vigilance and community outreach efforts played a critical role in bringing these offenders to justice. For example, a California man was arrested about 8 hours after a young victim bravely came forward and disclosed their abuse to FBI agents following an online safety presentation at a Capital Region school. A criminal complaint or indictment is merely an allegation. Every defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty and beyond reasonable doubt in court of law. However, these are the ones that were arrested. In the Northern District of New York, those arrested and charged in separate cases are as follows. Jerry N. Butler III, age 19, of Walton, New York, who used a social messaging application to request and receive sex explicit content from a minor. He faces at least 15 years in prison. He is believed to be involved in the 764 network, whose members seek to corrupt and exploit vulnerable populations, including many minors. He is believed to have administered an online offshoot of 764 that operated across multiple social media channels and whose members engaged in extortion of minors, coercive self-harm, harm to animals, and the production and dissemination CASAM. Next up is Stephen Campbell, age 27, a citizen of the United Kingdom, who distributed CSAM to someone he believed to be a parent who would make their child available for Campbell to abuse them. Campbell also sent money to the parent so that the parent could bring the child to the United Kingdom for Campbell to abuse. He faces at least 15 years, which personally I don't think that's even close to long enough, but 15 years in prison if convicted of all charges. Next to be arrested was Max Fishkind, age 24, of New Paltz, New York, who enticed a Maryland child into creating and sending him self-produced child abuse material over Snapchat. He faces at least 15 years, again, not enough time in jail for that, in prison. Another arrested, Kenneth House, age 59, of Pines Plains, New York, who communicated with an individual to discuss and plan his abuse of a person he believed to be a child. House was arrested after arriving at a location in Albany County and paying $140 to a woman he believed to be a child's caretaker. He faces at least 10 years. Absolutely disgusting. He should be in for life in prison. The next person, Terry Mead Jr., age 49, of Waterville, New York, who used his cell phone to photograph the spaces of a 4-year-old child and distributed that photograph to another person. He faces at least 15 years in prison. Again, not enough time. Probably should be in there for the rest of his life so he can never do this again. But moving on, we have Divine Ravine, age 20, of Riverside, California, who persuaded and introduced a Rensselaer County minor to create child abuse material, which the child then sent to Ravine over the internet. He faces at least 15 years in prison. Next, we have Brian Silva, age 32, a Brazilian citizen residing in Schenectady, New York, who was arrested after responding to an advertisement on a social networking site offering S with someone who appeared to be a child. He faces at least 10 years in prison. Absolutely disgrace, should be in jail for the rest of his life. Next, we have Gary Yorkshire, age 68, of Scotia, New York, who communicated with an individual to discuss and plan his abuse of a person he believed to be a child. Yorkshire was arrested after arriving at the location in Albany County and paying $250 to a woman he believed to be the child's caretaker. He faces at least 10 years in prison. Again, not enough time. If convicted, each defendant would also face a term of post-imprisonment supervised release of at least 5 years and up to life, a fine, special assessments, mandatory restitution, and forfeiture of the devices used to commit the offenses. They're just going to get new ones. A defendant's sentence is imposed by a judge based on the particular statutes the defendant is charged with violating. The U.S. sentencing guidelines for each factors include each defendant, if convicted, would also have to register as a sex offender upon his release from prison. Those that were a part of arresting these heinous crime producers and makers off the street are the New York State Police, the Saratoga County Sheriff's Office, and police departments in Cohoes, Colony, Rotterdam, Saratoga Springs, Schenectady, Troy, and Waterville. Guys, this is just a stark reminder that these people are everywhere. They are someone you just passed in the grocery store. They're all over the place, watching, lurking, and waiting to grab your children, to exploit them, and to just do heinous things. So, as always, guys, make sure you're vigilant with your kids. Make sure you're monitoring their online actions, because some creep could just jump into their DMs or their Facebook, their Instagram, their Snapchat, anything that they have, and portray themselves to be something else or offer the money. It's just, make sure you're watching your kids' stuff at all times. You never know who is out there lurking, ready to do awful things. So, guys, until next time, stay vigilant and stay safe. Much love.